We'll keep monitoring as we continue to monitor the events in Rome at this time.
Now available at ESA Trading Limited showroom departments, a wide range of household items and accessories. Plates in porcelain, ceramic, clear, and corale. Bowls in glassware, plastic, and porcelain. Pot sets and frying pan sets. Glasses for all occasions. Knife sets and cutlery. Water jugs and storage containers. Wooden spoon sets. Dish strainers. Chopping boards. Bath towels, shower curtains, and bed sheet sets, curtain rods, living room sets, recliners, and dining room sets, mats and rugs, and so much more. All at unbeatable prices. Visit us today. We are located at the corner of Kennedy Avenue and Dame Eugenia Charles Boulevard, Roseau. ESA Trading Limited, making a difference for you.
ESA Trading Limited is celebrating mothers in grand style with a super grand Mother's Day raffle. Yes, do not miss our Mother's Day promotion at ESA Trading Limited. Spend $50 or more and write your mother's name, address, and their telephone number on the back of your receipt and place it in the box provided to take part in our grand Mother's Day raffle. Help your mom win one of these fabulous prizes. First prize, a 90 kg washing machine. Second prize, a 4-burner gas stove. Third prize, an industrial blender. And fourth prize, a 4.5-liter electric air fryer. Promotion runs from today, 17th April to May 11th, 2025. ESA Trading Limited. We're making a difference for you.
Can't tell the quality when I'm out and it's my time to play. It's actually not big room, making a difference for you. I hear you get rocks anytime you drink it. The XM Smoke Ring, 15 years. The XM Royal, 10 years. XM 5 years, and the 750 milliliter Bartender. Come on, pass me a Dance extra match, yeah. Premium blend. Try out the 200 or the 750 ml. Yeah, man. Guaranteed for any occasion. Say you can't go wrong with Dance. Hey, you can test the quality. Dance, yeah, more than Chanel. Stand supreme high wine, the pot and the white wine. And for the fruitcake, greater than me, and sorry brandy. I give it thanks. You can test the quality. When I'm out and it's my time to play, it's actually not the crew making a difference for you. I hear you get ranks anytime you drink it. Remember, drink responsibly. Dominicans, Dominicans, enjoy your property, protect your property. You homeowner and businessman, protect your property, enjoy your property. Can't wait for the hurricane, can't wait till you flood out. Can't wait till you fly out, all your business running out. Remember, no insurance company will insure your property when a storm is approaching. Get ahead of the hurricane season and insure with a company who gives you the assurance of payment for your valid claim. Come speak with us today at the New India Assurance Company Limited, upstairs AC Shillingford and Company Limited, 24 King George Street, Roseau. Bring along an up-to-date valuation from a qualified engineer and get insured today.
So again, American Cardinal Robert Prevost elected as the new Pope.
La pace sia con tutti voi. Fratelli, sorelle carissimi, questo è il primo saluto del Cristo risorto, il buon pastore che ha dato la vita per il gregge di Dio. Anch'io vorrei che questo saluto di pace entrasse nel vostro cuore, raggiungesse le vostre famiglie, a tutte le persone, ovunque siano,
Greetings,
a
brothers
tutti
and
i popoli,
sisters.
a tutta la terra.
This is the
La
first
pace
greeting
sia con voi.
of the risen Christ. May the peace be with you.
Questa è la pace di Cristo risorto. Una
This is
pace
the peace
disarmata,
of the
una
risen
pace
Christ.
disarmante, umile e perseverante.
A peace
Proviene da Dio,
that is humble
Dio che ci
and
ama
perseverant
tutti,
for all.
incondizionalmente. Ancora conserviamo nei nostri orecchi quella voce debole ma sempre coraggiosa di Papa Francesco che benediva a Roma.
Of course, we preserve our prayers for Pope Francis,
Il Papa che benediva
Who
Roma dava le sue
lives
benedizioni
in Rome.
al mondo intero, quella mattina del giorno di Pasqua.
who passed away
Consentitemi
on
di
the
dar
morning
seguito a
of Easter,
quella stessa
after Easter.
benedizione. Dio ci vuole bene, Dio vi ama tutti e il
Dio
male non
wants
prevarrà.
What's good for
Siamo
you.
tutti
He loves
nelle
you
mani
all,
di Dio.
and we remain all
Pertanto,
in God,
senza paura,
without
uniti,
fear,
mano nella mano con Dio e
hand
tra
in
di
hand
noi.
with God.
Andiamo avanti.
We go forward.
Siamo discepoli di Cristo.
We are disciples of
Cristo ci
Christ.
precede. Il mondo ha bisogno della sua
Christ
luce.
goes before us.
L'umanità necessita di Lui come il ponte per essere raggiunta da Dio e dal suo amore. Aiutateci anche voi, poi gli uni gli
Help
altri,
yourselves
a costruire
and help
ponti
one another
con il dialogo,
for
con
building
l'incontro,
bridges
unendoci tutti
and for
per
a
essere un
dialogue,
solo popolo, sempre in pace.
for being a
Grazie a
people
Papa Francesco.
always in peace. Thank you to Pope Francis.
Voglio ringraziare anche tutti i confratelli cardinali che hanno scelto me per essere successore di Pietro e camminare insieme a voi come Chiesa unita, cercando sempre la pace, la giustizia.
And I want to
cercando
thank
sempre
all
lavorare come
the
uomini
fellow
e
cardinals
donne
who
fedeli a
chose
Gesù
me to be the
Cristo,
successor of
senza
Peter
paura, per
in a united
proclamare
church,
il Vangelo, per essere missionari.
and for pronouncing the Evangelium, and for being
Sono un
successors of
figlio di
Christ
Sant'Agostino,
in peace.
agostiniano, che ha detto: con voi
Saint
sono cristiano
Augustine.
e per voi vescovo. In questo senso possiamo tutti camminare insieme verso quella patria la quale Dio ci ha preparato.
We walk together, as St. Augustine said,
Alla
towards
Chiesa
Christ, that God, on
di
the path that
Roma,
God
un
prepared.
saluto speciale.
A special greeting.
Dobbiamo cercare insieme come essere una Chiesa missionaria, una Chiesa che costruisce i ponti, il dialogo, sempre aperta a ricevere, come questa piazza con le braccia aperte, a tutti coloro che hanno bisogno della nostra carità, la nostra presenza, il dialogo, l'amore.
We have to be a church that works together to build bridges and to keep our arms open, like this very piazza, welcoming.
A todos aquellos, y en modo particular a mi querida diócesis de Chiclayo en el Perú.
He says, a special greeting to
donde
the people
un
of
pueblo fiel
Peru.
ha acompañado a su obispo, ha compartido su fe y ha dado tanto para seguir siendo iglesia fiel de Jesucristo.
Who have been so
A
faithful
tutti
in their
voi,
following
fratelli e
of the
sorelle
church
di
of
Roma,
Christ.
d'Italia, di tutto il mondo, vogliamo essere una chiesa
Brothers and
sinodale, una
sisters of
chiesa che
Italy,
cammina, una chiesa che cerca sempre la pace, cerca
who
sempre
form
la
a
carità,
church
cerca sempre di essere
that
vicino
searches
specialmente
for
a coloro
peace
che soffrono.
and to help those who are in need.
Oggi,
Today,
il giorno della supplica alla Madonna di Pompei,
the day of the supplication of
Nostra
the
Madre
Madonna
Maria
of Pompeii.
vuole sempre camminare con noi, stare vicino,
Mary, our Mary,
aiutarci con
always
la sua
wants to walk
intercessione,
with
il
us,
suo amore.
to help us,
Allora vorrei pregare
to give us
insieme a
love.
voi. Preghiamo insieme
Let us pray
per questa
together
nuova missione,
for this
per
new
tutta
mission,
la Chiesa, per la pace
for
nel mondo.
the whole
E
church,
chiediamo questa
and
grazia
peace on
speciale
earth,
di Maria,
and the
nostra
special
madre.
grace of Mary,
Ave
our
Maria,
mother.
piena di grazia,
Hail
il
Mary,
Signore è con
full of
te.
grace,
Tu sei
the
benedetta fra
Lord
le
is with
donne,
thee.
e benedetto
Blessed
il
art
frutto del
thou
tuo seno,
among
Gesù.
women,
Santa
and
Maria,
blessed is the
Madre
fruit
di Dio,
of thy
prega per
womb,
noi
Jesus.
peccatori,
Holy
adesso e
Mary,
nell'ora della
Mother of
nostra
God,
morte.
pray for us
Amen.
sinners, now and at the hour of our death. Amen.
Il Santo Padre Leone, a tutti i fedeli presenti e a quelli che ricevono la sua benedizione a mezzo della radio, della televisione e delle altre tecnologie di comunicazione, concede l'indulgenza plenaria nella forma stabilita dalla Chiesa. Preghiamo Dio Onnipotente perché conservi a lungo il Papa a guida della Chiesa e conceda pace e unità alla Chiesa in tutto il mondo.
For all those, both here and listening throughout the world and receiving this blessing from the Pope, Leo XIV, let us hear
Sancti
his prayer.
Apostoli Petrus et Paulus, de quorum potestates auctoritate confidimus, ipsi intercedant pro nobis ad Dominum. Amen. Precibus et
Saint
meritis Beate
Peter and
Mariae
Paul,
semper Virginis,
let them
Beati
intercede
Michaelis
on our
Archangelis,
behalf.
Beate Ioannis
We pray to them.
Baptiste, et Sanctorum Apostolorum Petri et Pauli et omnium sanctorum. Misereatur vestri omnipotens Deus, et dimissis omnibus peccatis vestris, perducat vos Iesus Christus ad vitam aeternam.
For Saint Peter and Paul,
Indulgentiam, absolutionem,
who
et remissionem omnia
have mercy
peccatorum
on
vestrorum,
us and all the other
spatio
saints as
vere
well
et
on
fructuosae
us.
penitentiae,
And
for
Jesus
semper
Christ,
penitens,
may he lead
et
us
emendationem
in
vitae,
peace.
gratiam et consolationem Sancti Spiritus, et finalem perseverantiam in bonis operibus tribuat vobis omnipotens et misericors Dominus. Amen. Et benedictio Dei omnipotent, Patris et Filii et Spiritus
And may
Sancti descendat super vos
the
et maniat
benediction
semper.
of the all-powerful Lord bless you and be with you always.
Pope Leo XIV, American Cardinal Robert Prevost.
You see the American flag there in the crowd. Americans, of course, among the faithful, holding up various American flags across St. Peter's Square as the world studies the face of Pope Leo XIV on that balcony. He opened by saying, "Peace be with you," addressing his brothers and sisters here in St. Peter's Square and around the world. He said, "We preserve our prayers for Pope Francis," and he went on to say, "God loves everyone." He talked about building bridges. He talked about helping those in need. The choice of the name Leo, obviously, extremely significant. We knew that going in, that however the new Pope presented themselves to the world, in particular the name they would choose would be the first signal here. Leo is the name of one of the consensus best popes in church history, Leo, better known as Leo the Great. And the most recent pope of that name served in the early 1900s. And he was best remembered in 1891 for laying out the foundation of modern Catholic social teaching, which pushed for social justice for workers, laborers around the world. Father Martin, I know that you know Pope Leo XIV. You knew him as Cardinal Prevost from Chicago, and you sat across from him just last fall for a couple of weeks at the Synod, right?
I did. I'm a little stupefied right now. I met him first in the company of another Jesuit. We were walking right around Vatican City, and my friend said, "Oh, look, there's Cardinal Prevost," and walked up to him and had a little conversation, very down to earth, very forthright. And then I sat next to him across the table from him for 2 weeks at the Synod. Just a very kind person, very straightforward, very modest, very reserved. And I have to say, I was emailing him just a few weeks ago about something. And, you know, I said, "Would you like my opinion on something?" And he wrote back and said, "Sure, I'll take your 2 cents on something." So it's just, I'm sort of speechless. And I really love the name of Leo. As you were saying, David, calling us back to the tradition of Catholic social teaching. Every Catholic scholar and student of Catholic history will know who Leo the 13th is. And so he's, in a sense, I would think he's aligning himself with that great tradition of Catholic social teaching.
And for our viewers around the world, and in particular watching us back home in the United States, what would you want them to know about Pope Leo XIV? What struck you as far as his temperament and his ability to lead the Catholic Church going forward?
Very down to earth, very plain spoken, very straightforward, very kind, very, very, very approachable. I never felt like I was in the presence of some prince of the church. He's a very modest man. And, you know, I have to say once again, we are, as you know, we are sitting on the rooftop of the Augustinian order that he was prior general of, which is quite something. When you are chosen as the prior general or the master general or the superior general of the whole religious order, that means that everyone in the religious order values you. And it's not only a position of administrative need, but also great spiritual depth. So this is a really qualified person. And I think all Catholics who are listening should feel happy and comfortable and grateful for this tremendous choice.
And how big of a moment is this for the United States, for Catholics back home in the U.S. who thought, historically speaking, that this was not going to happen?
I didn't think this was going to happen. As we were saying earlier, people around the world feel that America is a superpower and they don't need to give the papacy to the United States. But again, he has been described as the least American of the Americans. This combination of a great experience in Peru. And by the way, as an aside, if you heard him speak Italian, his Spanish is even better after all those years in Peru. Combined with his real respect in the Curia, in the Vatican Curia, and his contact with so many bishops, made him a terrific choice. You know, I have to say his temperament is just perfect for this job.
Let's just take a moment and listen to the bells ringing here in St. Peter's Square. Let's just listen.
Again, those of you just listening, he has chosen the name Pope Leo XIV, American Cardinal Robert Prevost, elected as a new pope for a new era. My information suggests he's only 69.
An extraordinary sight over St. Peter's Square. You can see there in the shadow as the sun goes down behind the basilica at this side.
Somebody's saying, man, you know what is strange? This guy was nowhere on the list.
You know, last night, 45,000 people were here
as a candidate to be pope.
They would most likely
strange world we live in, huh?
Just what they saw. 24 hours later, even more have gathered here. The faithful members of the Catholic Church and beyond the church. I spoke with a woman originally from New York City. One of the first things she told me was that I'm not Catholic, but I felt a need to be here. That she was hoping that the ability of Pope Francis to reach out and touch people would continue with whoever they would choose next. And we have witnessed history made here today by the Roman Catholic Church in selecting the first
Pope Leo XIV.
States. He will go by Pope Leo
Robert Francis Prevost.
Obviously a long line.
Born September 14th, 1955.
But the name
1955.
In many ways, the efforts by the church,
an American Catholic,
to stand up for social justice, to stand up for workers, for laborers, all over the world.
Who has been head of the Catholic Church and sovereignty of the Vatican City since the 8th of May, 2025.
Pope Leo XIV. Talk about Peru and his time in Peru during his blessing there in the square.
And as you mentioned, he talked about building bridges. And as we've discussed before,
he was a bishop of
actually means bridge.
Some city in Peru
3 weeks ago
from 2015 to 2023,
huge crowd in this square,
and was prior general of the Order of Saint Augustine from 2001 to 2013.
Read tea leaves all along. Is this going to be a candidate of change? I was talking with a Vatican insider over a text just now.
Born in Chicago, Prevost spent the early part of his career working
so while he is said to be more middle of the road, more reserved,
with the Augustinians, he served as in Peru from 1985 to 1986, and from 1988 to 1998 as parish pastor, diocesan official,
Lindsay Davis here with us, witnessing history at the Vatican as well. Again, the first Pope named
So he has a
States. Terry
vast history
from Chicago. This has to be an extraordinary moment for the Windy City in learning that the man who was born in Chicago back in 1955, now 69 years old, which, Terry, you and I were talking, is very young for a newly elected Pope, certainly in these times. And what a day for the city of Chicago.
What a great day for the city of Chicago. Yeah, I was born in Chicago. It is thrilling. And a couple of things. Pope Leo the 14th was born on the south side of Chicago. If Lindsay's reporting is true, and I trust it is, he is a Cubs fan on the south side. That tells you one thing: he's tough, because it is not easy to be a Cubs fan on the south side of Chicago. But seriously, he brings, that very Chicago openness to labor. I think that the fact that he chose the name Leo after that Leo the 13th and that ringing declaration in his encyclical of the essential dignity of work and of every worker, their right to form unions, the responsibilities of management, that indicates an attitude very common in Chicago, which is a big union city. And an attitude.
Somebody's asking me jokingly, does he have any family in Marigot?
Really,
maybe.
Been shortchanged as the globalization of the economies of the world has taken place, and the financialization of the world has essentially concentrated so much wealth. That may be part of his agenda. We may be seeing something there. But there's one other issue from Chicago that I'm curious about to hear from our new Pope, which is, does he prefer deep dish pizza or Roman pizza? Which is very, very different.
I would say he might have to say he prefers the pizza right here in Rome, Terry, depending on who's within earshot of him. That's a dangerous question. I'll let you ask that of the new Pope if you get the chance. But Terry, something you said struck me, that he was a Cubs fan from the south side of Chicago, and yet you hear him at the Vatican described for his quiet, humble way. That's perhaps how he survived being a Cubs fan from the south side.
That's a great point, David. And another thing that because he's a Cubs fan, is he's well acquainted with suffering in the sporting world. The Cubs didn't win a World Series for 108 years. Any team can have a bad century, and he knows that, and hope springs eternal. They're a contender this year, it looks like, and so maybe this is an auspicious sign for his ball club and mine.
Terry Moran, who has covered the Catholic Church for so long and is a native son from Chicago and knows what this moment is like for the Windy City. Terry, thank you. I want to go down to St. Peter's Square. Our chief foreign correspondent, James Longman, who has been with us on the square.
Of course, we will conclude our
ever since
coverage.
An extraordinary piece of history we all witnessed.
Of Pope Leo the 14th, American Cardinal Robert Prevost.
James, what's the reaction?
Many questions as to whether he's related to the Prevosts in Marigot.
I think, David. I mean, it's absolutely extraordinary. I mean, just amazing. This 2,000-year-old institution can still surprise us. And boy, did they surprise us. I mean, it's just, did you hear that? I mean, people are going absolutely wild here. People did not expect this. And it's a challenge. Maybe this is a challenge to the world to say, look, the United States, normally associated with secularism, with materialism, with consumerism. Maybe they feel, these cardinals, that, the church in Africa, the church in Asia, maybe it's okay. Maybe the church is growing in those places. And maybe this is the challenge to the West to take up the faith. They need a communicator. They need someone to go out into the world. That was what we heard very strongly from the bulletin from the cardinals at that last congregation when they said they wanted a pontifex, a bridge builder. And we heard it in the words that he spoke on that balcony. And, maybe on some level, David, there's a feeling that the United States is retreating from the world, from leadership in the world. Perhaps, of course, at the moment, the United States is reforming the world, changing the world to a great degree. But maybe the leadership that the world needs now from this American is right here in Vatican City. That might have been what was going through the minds of these cardinals. We don't know. Down here on the square.
I tried reaching out to our own bishop for his reaction, but the phone has been ringing busy. I can well understand. But I'm sure we'll get a reaction from our own bishop in Dominica. That's it for our coverage. of Pope Leo XIV, American Cardinal Robert Prevost elected as the new Pope of the new generation, only 69. We'll take a few calls and we'll move on to our next subject. I'm expecting an interview by our Prime Minister, conducted by the Press Secretary, Ms. Dion Durand, as it relates to the meeting in Washington. But we'll take a break, and of course, we'll bring you any developments as it occurs. Read the new Pope. We'll do this and come back.
ESA Trading Limited is celebrating mothers in grand style with a super grand Mother's Day raffle. Yes, do not miss our Mother's Day promotion at ESA Trading Limited. Spend $50 or more and write your mother's name, address, and their telephone number on the back of your receipt and place it in the box provided to take part in our grand Mother's Day raffle. Help your mom win one of these fabulous prizes. First prize, a 90 kg washing machine. Second prize, a 4-burner gas stove. Third prize, an industrial blender. And fourth prize, a 4.5-liter electric air fryer. Promotion runs from today, 17th April to May 11th, 2025. ESA Trading Limited. We're making a difference for you.
Dominicans, enjoy your property, protect your property. You homeowner and businessman, protect your property, enjoy your property. Can't wait for the hurricane, can't wait till your flood again, can't wait till your roof fly out and all your business going out. Remember, no insurance company will insure your property when a storm is approaching. Get ahead of the hurricane season. Insure with a company who gives you the assurance of payment for your valid claim. Come speak with us today at the New India Assurance Company Limited, upstairs AC Shillingford and Company Limited, 24 King George Street, Roseau. Bring along an up-to-date valuation from a qualified engineer and get insured today.
ESA Trading Limited is celebrating mothers in grand style with a super grand Mother's Day raffle. Yes, do not miss our Mother's Day promotion at ESA Trading Limited. Spend $50 or more and write your mother's name, address, and their telephone number on the back of your receipt and place it in the box provided to take part in our grand Mother's Day raffle. Help your mom win one of these fabulous prizes. First prize, a 90 kg washing machine. Second prize, a 4-burner gas stove. Third prize, an industrial blender. And fourth prize, a 4.5-liter electric air fryer. Promotion runs from today, 17th April to May 11th, 2025. ESA Trading Limited. We're making a difference for you.
Keep your goal inside and reach for it. You can be the next Super 6 jackpot winner of $270,000.
I see Goldwyn shopping for farming supplies. So I ask him, what are you doing inside Bloombox? Do you have a farm? He tell me, that's out hell sort. I've been married 37 years. Look at my money farm. He say, no, not woman. Like land for farming crops. And then you understand. Bloombox is the most affordable on island. Knapsacks starting at only $57.71. Elsewhere, it's $300 plus. Cutlass seeds, seeding trays, nursery pots, sales of potting mix, all at way better prices than anywhere else. Fertilizers, 3-in-1 multi-tool, and so much more. Located on Federation Drive at Goodwill. Second property on the right after the Valley Link Road and on the corner of Drury Lane and Hanover Street in Rosal. Bloombox. Let's bloom together.
AutoTrade is introducing our very own mobile app. Yes, the AutoTrade app is here. From scheduling your service appointments, request financing, checking our vehicle and parts inventory, to receiving personalized coupons and sales specials. Life is so much easier with the new AutoTrade app. Download the AutoTrade app from the Play Store or App Store today. Call us at 255-6800. AutoTrade, it's more than a vehicle, it's a relationship.
Somebody has been holding on for a while. Hello, yes? Sorry about that. As I announced to you earlier, in a few minutes I'll present an interview from the Prime Minister of Dominica, returning from Washington, meeting with Mark Rubio. Present in a few minutes. Let's listen to a few calls at this time. Hello, yes?
Hey, Mr. Peltier, blessings to you, sir.
Blessings to you, sir.
You calling the Catholic bishop, you're calling me then. I'm a bishop too, you know. I have my own church and all of that.
Now I know.
Okay, now you know. I tell that to Mr. Linton the day he sat for you.
Okay.
My whole church name is Mount Zion Flames. Or Fire, which one? But how did Trump know?
How did Trump know what?
Oh, thank you. That it would be an American Pope. How did he know?
I don't know. How you know?
Did you see Trump, Matt? Posted himself on social media, dressed up in all the regalia of the Pope. Did you see that, Matt?
No, I didn't.
Yeah, man, it was all over the mainstream media was saying it is disrespectful. Now is the time for the conclave and looking to select a Pope, and Trump joking around. Was he joking? The question is, was Trump joking? And Mark, I have said it already, where there is a consistent sequence of events, coincidence is absent. For in the laws of coincidence, there is no consistency. How did Trump know it would be an American Pope? Because Trump dressed up as the Pope, sitting in a Pope chair, technology, Matt. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Listening.
With his headpiece, his robe, and his rod, and everything. Trump as a Pope. Trump Pope.
So you don't think it may be a coincidence? I'm just asking.
It's not a coincidence. It's a conspiracy. Why? And not, is he Asian or African American?
I'm sure you know he's not.
No, I haven't seen it.
He's an American. He's an American Pope.
A Black American, Asian American. Is he what they call white?
I don't. It looks white. That's from what I see.
It's just that I always say not all the cardinals, the African cardinals and the Asian cardinals, what they're doing there, they don't stand a chance. Because whenever there's black smoke, no Pope. When there's white smoke, there is a Pope, and it's not an Asian and it's not an African. Very, very, very interesting. You see, you that acolyte there, you're a bad man. Now I figure you out. Have a blessed day, sir.
Well, everything is not about a conspiracy. Always remember that. Hello, talk to me. Yes, that's a conspiracy. Hello, talk to me. Yeah.
Good afternoon to you and your listeners, man.
Good afternoon to you. Yes.
I want to tell Blessings first that he was not invited to the thing last weekend. There, he said he was the pastor from Mount Zion Church.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So now I did not know or expect any particular Pope, because I don't really follow the Catholic Church as I used to when I was younger.
Mm-hmm.
But I know some years ago I heard a documentary. I was looking at a documentary, and they said Chicago, out of $170 billion sent to Rome, Chicago alone was sending 13. Okay? So I don't know, maybe it's more money, or maybe the amount was going down and they want to see that come back or something like that. So that's maybe somewhere where that is for the reason for electing him. You know what? But that's what I'm reading in my mind. Good afternoon.
Everything is a conspiracy about 204. Hello, talk to me. Yes,
Matt,
How you doing, sir?
well, I did.
Okay.
Already like that. But what I have to say about that new pope, that is a pope for in this time we live in.
Okay.
And three things quickly, and I want you to listen to me very carefully. You see, that new pope there, first to begin, is American. So now I hope he talk to Trump. Fast forward. You know where he's from? He's from the south side of Chicago.
Right.
Black people listening, so he'll way back and tell you what happening on the south side of Chicago. Chirac, a.k.a. Chi-Town, Chicago. And now, when you watch the biography, you know the man went to school with people like Al Capone and Mario Puzo, the Godfather and them. And why is the other one named after them, John Gotti, Sammy the Bull? That alone I have to say. So you see that pope there from the south side of Chicago, that is the pope of our time. Black people will give you the rest. Bye-bye.
4493095. I'm hoping to talk to the bishop, our new bishop, and subsequently, and of course, we'll get his views. Hello, talk to me. Yes. Caller. Hello. Nobody there. Let's try another call. Yes.
Man, it was no surprise to me that American Pope was elected. Last night I was looking at the news and I see the line of them Pope going. I said either an American or Italian. And my thing was right.
But his name was never mentioned, though. His name was never mentioned as a front runner. So a lot of surprise there. A lot of surprise.
When I was showing you the lineup,
Yeah, they were basically saying they were looking at about 70 names, but his name was never there.
yeah, I'm happy to know that American made it there. Yeah. Our family,
Your family, you're Prevost too.
yeah, I'm a Prevost too from Dominica, but you know things just go all about the place. I'm happy that we have an American Pope. I'm happy. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. 4493095. Somebody's trying to call me on the overseas line. Hello, talk to me. Yes. Hello. For some reason, we're not connecting with that overseas line. I don't know why it is. But again, in the next few minutes, I'll present to you an interview conducted by the press secretary, the latest meeting attended by our Prime Minister in Washington with Marco Rubio, Secretary of State. So we'll present that to you in a few minutes. So stick around, Dominica, as we continue in the afternoon. Stick around. Hello, yes, talk to me. Yes, I'm here.
Yeah, well, Matt, I don't know what to say, but I think I would just suffice to say that I am cautiously, moderately impressed, or maybe unimpressed, basically. Because I just hope that it might not be a.
I'd like you to expound on those 2 points there.
Yeah, because I just hope that because all signs are that it might very well be a continuation of the, I would say, ultra liberalism of Pope Francis.
Mm-hmm.
Because and people looking in from the outside, into the governance of the church. They might see the external stuff, but there's a lot of stuff going on, behind the walls, right? And there are a lot of within the church itself, the Vatican. There are a lot of struggles between I would say the traditionalists, for those who want to actually preserve, what we call the deposit of faith, what Catholics call the deposit of faith, and those whom we perceive who are actually trying to, move, just to move against it or try to, change it a bit to suit the times. Right? And Pope Francis is perceived to have been one of those. So I personally belong to the former camp, right? So I just hope this guy is not actually going to be a continuation of the ultra-liberalism of Pope Francis. Thank you.
All right, thank you. You're from the old, the whole section of the church, 4493095. You don't want it to be too liberal. Okay, we understand. Is your opinion. Hello, talk to me. Yes.
Matt, what you going to play there from Roosevelt carry it? I'll switch us for a while.
All right, because you don't want to listen, Lucille, and you have to start paying attention. 4493095. Whether you like it or not, he's the Prime Minister of Dominica. Lucille, pay attention. All right? You never know. There'll be something in there that you want to present on, and don't allow others to influence you the wrong way all the time, okay? He's the Prime Minister. Like it or not. Okay, Lucille? Thank you very much. And you always have a choice to listen or don't. That I have no control over. Somebody's saying, wait, Papa Dominicans, what exactly would Black Pepper know about the Pope? The man wasn't elected because he's an American, but because of his deep ties to Peru and Central America. They will never elect a black man, Filipino, so they took a moderate with the command of Spanish language to appease them. He's also a traditional Catholic. Francis was a bit radical. Another opinion. Again, we have to respect everybody's opinion. Hello, talk to me on the telephone. Are you there? Yes?
Hello, good afternoon.
How are you?
Not too bad. I would
Okay.
like to know what time the pastor that preaches on the pastor from over to what time he'll be.
He'll be on tomorrow, but I think he's on the Bayfront tonight. Okay?
Oh, but is he going to be on the air?
Yes, he'll be on the air tomorrow from 2 o'clock.
Okay, then thank you.
All right,
I want him to pray for me.
You wanted to pray for you? Okay, yes. So we'll make some time for him to pray for you, okay? Friday, 2 o'clock, and on Saturday from 8 o'clock in the morning. Hello, yes. Are you there?
Yes, I'm there, Matt. Good afternoon, Matt.
Good afternoon to you. I'm happy you.
Because more Catholic upaka for now.
No. Hope I got well.
Matt, I heard Blessings asking a question.
Yes.
Is that a form of dry humor from Blessings? How did Trump know? Blessings, if you don't know the answer to that, call Pastor Randy. Bagaila say, we all read in the Bible, the devil is the prince of this world, the king of this world, walking to and fro in this world. Mat padatana dulaka salibui. We need to remember, où est tout ça qui a pour place en la tête, papa bon Dieu actuellement, India kagoume Pakistan. Jikan Dominique, nous ni gouvernement, opposition kagoume, moun, l'église kagoume, en Dominique. Mat, Jésus ka mette hadli en la pour y descendre. C'est nous tout pour nous tout pas qu'on nous ban. Avec comprendre que la terre là, ça vient fin. Matt, you can also play me. This is the beginning of the end of time from Hunter, Matt, because nous passons kako pour Jésus qui vit chez la terre. C'est faut nous faire chez nous en regard ça Jésus les fait en la terre ça la passe. We're in the beginning of the end of time. C'est tout monde ça dit qu'on bagay ça avec peuple là. We're in the beginning of the end of time. America, peuple sorti America. Good afternoon, Matt.
Good afternoon to you. Hello, 449-3095, 449-3096, 449-3097. Again, just in a few minutes. Give me a few minutes. I'll present that interview. Hello, talk to me, yes? How are you? How are you? Yes.
Okay, how is mommy and daddy, boss?
Everybody good.
Good. Matthias, I am so glad that the caller before me, meaning your last caller, hit the head on the nail. For some of us who are biblically inclined, and I made it on my program last Sunday, we are living on the last days. We're going to have one world government. And that includes the Pope. That includes Rome. The mark of the beast is not far, Matthias. And we're going to have one world currency. Your former tourism minister in this government, the former tourism minister. What is it I'm trying to influence? Bitcoin, what is the name of the thing he's doing?
Which one is that?
He's trying to implement some Bitcoin and some stuff. This is the part of the world government affairs. So we're living on the last days. When we read Revelation, when we read Daniel, we're going to have in the future a one world government until God comes back. And the Third World War is inevitable, my dear brother. So the lady is very much correct, and most of your callers may not be biblically inclined to know these things. And I'm not surprised we have an American Pope. I'm not surprised. This is coming from the scripture, boss. And it's time for your callers sometimes to start believing in what the scripture says. It's not what you want, Matthias. It's not what Dominica wants. It's what the Bible says. And finally, God said in His word, in the final analysis, that He will use men to accomplish His scripture and His mission here on earth before His coming. And that, again, is scripture matters. God bless you. And I want to wish your mom and daddy all the best. Okay? Tell them I say hello.
Thank you. Again. I've been hearing a lot of that for a very, very long time. Everybody always has their conspiracy. Just have to be ready when he's here. Huh? He will come as a thief in the night. Just be ready. This beginning of the end of time. I don't know. I don't know. Just my feeling, huh? Just my saying. Because I've been hearing that time. I'm not too old and I'm not too young. But I've been hearing that for many, many years. Again, just get ready. It's that simple. Don't stress your time or yourself. Just be ready. On the telephone and live like Christ. Are you there? Talk to me.
I hope you can hide all your jewelry, Matt, and your money.
Well, I don't have jewelry.
If it coming like a thief in the night, you better hide your valuables.
I'm just telling you blessings. Just be ready.
Wait a while. You there with me, sir?
I'm still here.
Ready for what?
Ready for his coming.
Ready for my coming, Matt?
Don't try to be sarcastic. I said for his coming.
Okay, interesting. Matt, just quickly. And I want you to do a little research. Matt, just look for Trump for Pope, and you will see the image I was telling you about, Matt. I am not, Matt, a conspiracy is tangible, so to speak. You can hold, feel, see, and touch. There is evidence. Something theoretical, it is a supposition, a probability, a hypothesis. So when you say conspiracy, yes, not the whole world is built on conspiracies. It's a secret plan to do something criminal, do something illegal. That's a conspiracy.
So I'm asking you, so what do you think Trump has to do with that? That's what I'm asking you.
More to me, Matt, the selection having to do with Trump posing as the Pope on social media. Mainstream media said it was disrespectful. You know, Matt, they asked everybody men to dress in black and white, and he went with a deep navy blue suit, Matt, and everybody make noise about Trump. And coincidentally, Trump went home, posted a picture of himself as Pope, and American Pope was selected, Matt. Matt, the conspiracies are all in your face, Matt. And if you're not inclined, I don't know if it's biblically, but intuitively, Matt, if you're not inclined, you cannot see what is the obvious. It is right in your face. That's what they're doing, hiding in plain sight. Thank you, sir.
All right, thank you very much. Thank you very much. It's 2:19. Hello, talk to me, yes? Are you there, caller? Yes.
Good afternoon, Mr. Pelche.
Good afternoon to you. Yes.
I was working today. I'm all tired outside in my yard.
You're tired? Okay. Wow. You
Yes,
should
I
rest.
just came back inside there. I'm doing some working there. My son cut the grass for me, so I'm
You should-
working. I like to go to the soil.
You should rest.
Plenty, but
Yes.
I'm getting food. Mr. Pelche, I did not catch anything much today because I was outside. But I catch when you were talking about some pope and whatever it is. But I want to tell you, you do not understand much. But go to the book of Matthew 24, and you'll get the whole story. You can look in the book of Daniel. You can in Revelation. This is not the end yet. The Bible tells you in 24. I just want to do a small.
But did we say it was the end? I just said that you just have to be ready. That's it.
No, I'm just going to do no, but it has more to come than that. Then here
But
is
you just said he's not ready. Some other people are saying he's ready. He's ready to come. So again, it's different interpretations of the Bible. Yes?
I'm reading from the Bible for you. Hear what it said.
Mm-hmm.
And but it said because lawlessness is in 24 to 12, and because lawlessness will abound, the love of many will grow cold. But he who endures to the end shall be saved. And it was saying that what you see is happening there. It is in verse 8 said, all these are the beginning of sorrows. So there are many, many more things that have to come in. That's just the beginning of things. Many things have to come in before Christ step in, because at the end, even if you go in it said that the gospel of the kingdom will be preached in all the world. And when the gospel accomplished all over the world, then there it is, the kingdom will come. So we have much more to many things happening. And people, where you see Pope and this and all these things taking place, these are just the signs of time. Thank you very much.
Again, a different interpretation. That's why I don't confuse myself and stress myself over, Bible and things like that. I just, we have a God. We have to, of course, always be ready. Hello, talk to me, yes? And religion and interpretations. 449-3095. We should live like Christ. Hello, talk to me on the telephone. Yes.
Yes, good afternoon, Matt.
Good afternoon to you. Yes.
Matt, seeing that the Pope that they elected is an American,
yes,
an English-speaking country,
Mm-hmm.
I wonder why he didn't speak English that the English people could understand what he was saying. Why is another language?
I think he was speaking Italian because he was in Rome. Most people in that area there speak Italian.
Yeah, because people it's from America, and so I believe he was a little English to understand what they're saying. He had his interpreter.
Yeah, I'm sure he will speak English sometime. He may be speaking many languages. Yes.
I know. All right.
All right. Thank you.
All right.
449-3095-96. Hello, talk to me. Yes.
Good afternoon, Matt.
How you doing? Yes.
Okay. Matt, the Catholic Church controls about 1.4 billion people. Is that correct? Am I right?
Okay.
Right. And if you do that, it means that I am not a Catholic again. I used to be an acolyte when I was a very young boy. I'm not a Catholic again. But I think we could congratulate the church for selecting the Pope. I don't see the reason why we have to be so negative about it. It's like the leader. That's your right to know. The thing is, I want to know, why is it that is there any special thing that he chooses him? Pope Leo the 14th? Is there anything that Pope Leo 14th do or anything do? So he selected him.
We'll have to find out. Of course, the historians will explain in the next few days, why he selected or elected that name or selected that name. Okay?
And two, it might be a very good thing to accept an American, because Trump is doing all kind of business and the people to El Salvador and all that thing. And also the public for asking him to be merciful. So I expect Trump will have to listen to this one as an American. So it might be a very good thing. I don't think it's a bad thing to select an American. I believe that it's possible that Trump might break down and go and get it in El Salvador. Just to see that.
All right, my brother. Let's do something from Sugar Aloes at this time. I think I need a break. Oh boy. Sugar Aloes. Free me up a bit there. Free me up a bit. We'll come back to talk. Somebody says, for the first time in history of the Catholic religion, there has been an American Pope, or there is an American Pope. Somebody else suggested that there was an American Pope before, but we'll have to research that. Everyone seemed to be up in arms. Pope Francis was the first Latin American Pope, and there was not so much outcry. Time changes, and so do man. It was inevitable that there would be an American Pope. Brazil has the largest Catholic population in the world, followed by Mexico, the Philippines, and then the United States. This thing about the end of time is subject to interpretation, as I said, because of this. It's something we have to be hearing. We've been hearing for a very, very long time. I was taking a little sugar aloes.
Because unselfish ways might create things to shorten its days, but in this comfort and strife, what a life, what a life. But in this comfort and strife, what a life. In these times, but these are the signs of the end of time.
Everybody have their own interpretations of what is coming, huh? I get absent to Mr. G in Toronto listening at this time.
When mankind had the holy first sunrise.
Somebody's reminding me that the Pope speaks English, French, Spanish, Italian, and probably many more languages.
Now he's at war with himself because of his greed. I read, when they drop the bomb in Hiroshima, history is the worst disaster. It's been record of millions of people dead. Yet every day, man is moving on new warhead. This dread process was never meant to be. Man supposed to dwell in harmony. But because of selfish ways, man create things to shorten his days, but in this comfort and strife, what a life, what a life. But in this comfort and strife, what a life. In these times, but these are the times of the end of time. La, la, la. Mankind of himself create dread disease. Talking about gonorrhea and herpes. Now he's searching desperately to find the cure. And up to now, man still hasn't passed full floor. Well, what more? The Bible said that when God made woman, he specified she was man's companion. Some men turn away from her beauty and perfection. Will not explain that they prefer live with a man in this land. But it was never meant to be. Man supposed to dwell in harmony. But because
I did tell you I'd present an interview with the Prime Minister.
man created
I'm just downloading it at this time, and the Prime Minister has actually just received a release. He congratulated the new Pope. But the Bishop, I've been told, is out of state. Are you there? Yes. Sorry. Let's see if we can take a phone call. Are you there? Yes.
Yes, Matt, I'm there.
Okay. How are you, sir? Okay. You have a noise. You have a noisy background. A noisy background.
I'm on it. I'm cutting it.
Okay. Good. Thank you.
Yes, Matt. Good afternoon, Matt.
Good afternoon to you, sir.
And Matt, my response is to some of the things that is happening in our territories around us as we live each day after day. Matt, we have a situation where what we believe is when we say things that we will get things done without acting. Matt, we have some situations like this morning I hear the discussion to do with the ambulance. We're talking the Pope now. I agree because I want to get back to the Pope, but I want to get back to the ambulance. When we talk about ambulance, around Roseau, which is Canefield is one of the closest approximation around Roseau. And when you call an ambulance and you're waiting for minutes going into hours and doesn't see one, and when you get information, you're hearing there's only one ambulance we had and it was out at the time and whatnot. We need to get serious about the monies that is running this country and the management, the managers that is running the country. Over and over, we hear in the millions, we hear in the billions, we hear money, CDI. But we still cannot have an organization set to take care of our health. Matt, I was in Guadeloupe, and around Pointe-à-Pitre, I witnessed ambulance in action. And sometimes 3-4 ambulances reaching on one side, There was once outside a gas station, there was a madman waving something. I have to call him a madman. That's my judgment. Waving something. And by the time they called the ambulance, there was about 4 ambulances, and they talk about police and emergencies that come to that next to a gas station. That's emergency. And that is in the event somebody gets hurt, that they have people to organize. But they have ambulances that come with doctors on them. And they have those that come with the paramedics, the people that know how to stabilize you and take you to the doctor. But sometimes they come with more than one based on your call. We live ambulance because, Dominica, we cannot say we have that system. We have a fire service and we've been stretching them beyond. And people blaming them for things that is not they that should be doing. They should be a part of, but we shouldn't be blaming them because the system we have to blame, we're not blaming them. We have a problem, Matt, that we don't want to agree that the evil Satan is on earth. Satan is doing a lot of things around us, and we don't understand that. Matt, in houses, in homes with family that know how to develop children and their families, they're having Satan coming into a family. And if the family not a praying family to deal with Satan, even murderation they have inside the same house with a family. We're going into politics. Matt, we know our politics now is infested with evil. And we have an issue or a few issues that have been coming up. And our people not understanding that the strength of dealing with those evils is to pray. And not just to pray deep to the God above, the God that created us, that can solve all problems so that he can solve our problem. We run in and we start hitting each other and we don't understand the same evil is the one that's causing that. So one of our problems now is we jump in on the Pope and the action with America. But if you check, there's a new world order. And America is now in the handle. This morning when I listen to the news, they're not too satisfied with what Russia is asking for as their solution between Russia and Ukraine. They have problems with China because China now have to stick with the how you call it, what Trump just put there.
What Trump
just passed?
The tariffs.
The tariffs. So they have their problem and they fight in war. The whole world is at war. But we in Dominica cannot understand that even if they put an American Pope in place, these people go into election for more than a day, and not one person, a number of them deciding how can we address that big evil that is on the earth taking control of people. And we saying it was not because of a young or old, If you listen to them, it's a young Pope, but they make it an American. Maybe he will have the influence to say, let us put things in order. I don't believe we should just start condemning. We must look forward to the best if we pray to the Creator and say that is His hand that is in everything. We have Pastor Parino and a number of other pastors around Roseau praying for the people. A lot of them staying at their home. They call him now to find out if Pastor will be here and Pastor will be there. Get yourselves on the ground. Is your boots on the ground and pray to the Almighty for Him to intervene in what is happening in our country. And all that leadership problem we have to get it sorted out. But it's always only one way we can get it sorted out, with God. Because Satan is between and Satan wants to rule this country. We have to take him out with our boots on the ground. And I pray to our people that we must face it on the ground. Boots on the ground, and we have to pray. Bye-bye.
All right. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Boots on the Ground. Again, I just told you a few minutes ago, I've been saying that we're going to present an interview. We'll have this, further discussion on that, given what the Prime Minister have said or will be saying there in the next few minutes. But listen to the comments from him when he met with the Secretary of State, Marco Rubio, on Tuesday afternoon, about 3 o'clock. That meeting began there. Let's listen to the PM at this point in time.
Well, first of all, I think my overall impression of the meeting was that it was one that was very positive, extremely positive, if I may say. I believe that the Secretary of State is a very pragmatic person, and we were able to discuss a number of important issues relating to the relationship between ourselves and the United States. Of course, security was high on the agenda, and we both sides recognize the importance of us continuing to work together to fight in criminal elements within the hemisphere, and to enhance our abilities to proper secure our hemisphere. And so there's a continued commitment on the part of the United States government to help us and to work with us on the issue of security. Of course, the issue of the illegal immigration was spoken about. And of course, we're not at variance with the United States in respect to their immigration policies. Clearly, the immigration policies which are being implemented by the United States government is no different to that of every country in the world. And we have committed to working with them with an effort towards reducing, if not eliminating, illegal migration within our hemisphere. But we also urge the Secretary of State, and of course by extension the U.S. government, to ensure that they continue to facilitate legal migration by the provision of visas to students, to visitors, the various work programs. And of course, we believe that this will continue. We will not leave the meeting with the view that this will continue. I think the U.S.'s concern is with regards to illegal migration, and which is a shared position. I think one of the offerings on the United States is to look at, and of course this is just in the preliminary stages, is the idea of utilizing the OAS in a more pragmatic manner. And one of the proposals from the United States which we endorse is the whole idea of using the OAS and ensuring that the OAS can itself have peacekeeping missions, similar to what the United Nations is doing. So you have Haiti, for example, and his view, and of course our view, is that can we not mobilize within the OAS and not necessarily rely on the UN to mobilize peacekeepers for Haiti, for example, and security personnel for Haiti. So it's a very pragmatic areas. And of course, we raised the issue of Cuba and the Cuban Medical Brigade and the health program. We explained to him how this is operating within our countries, and I believe he understands that. So I do not see any threat to the Cuban medical program, which we all have within our countries. We have these programs. They are based on international standards. The human rights of every person who is participating in this program is protected. They work under best international practices, the International Labour Organization standards. They've been paid their salaries and their wages like everyone else. And so we're able to explain those things to Secretary of State. The issue of continued partnership with the United States on other areas of investments and a greater presence of the United States within the region and the repositioning of resources support and all of those things were discussed with Secretary of State. But I think it's a very, very constructive engagement. I think we should expect greater collaboration between the United States and the Caribbean, listening to the Secretary of State and his approach to things. He's a politician like all of us, and he understands that the political considerations in each country that every government has to deal with. So I think every one of us left the meeting on a very, very positive note. Not that we came with any preconceived notion of it going to be a contentious issue at all, but a lot of he also told us a lot of the things that we hear about the government's position as certain things are already media pronouncement and not necessarily that of the Secretary of the State Department or the U.S. government. And so he was able to set aside those issues. So it was a very, very positive first meeting with the Secretary of State. I believe that he's a sensible person. And the reality is we worked with the Trump administration in his first term. Trump administration never took any decisions against the Caribbean that were negative in any way. And I think that will continue in this term. And the level of cooperation and understanding that the Trump administration has of the region is better now than it was in the last term. And I think the Secretary of State, he being from Florida and understanding the challenge we have, for example, with hurricanes and storms, and they have decided to deploy assets within the Caribbean through NOAA to ensure that we have pre-warning mechanisms in place to alert us of impending storms and hurricanes coming our way for the Caribbean. So very positive, very constructive. I believe that the relationship between the Caribbean and the United States of America, and of course, between Dominica and the United States of America, is better now than it was 2 days ago.
Prime Minister, I have to ask you, because according to the State Department communique, the Secretary of State cautioned the OECS heads present to make responsible, transparent decisions in their relationship with China. You've already mentioned Cuba. How does Dominica?
Well, I mean, the United States of America has a relationship with China. I think some of the things that people speak about our relation with China are sometimes misplaced. China has been and continues to be a major ally in our economic and social development. We have always maintained our relation with China in a very transparent way. Our relation with China is no different to that of our relationship with any country in the world, whether it's a European country or an African country or a Caribbean country. What China is doing for Dominica is open for everybody to see, and it is visible for everybody to see, whether it's the construction of the schools or the hospitals or the roads or support to farmers and small businesses or housing. And that's what we speak to China about. The reality is, when I meet the Chinese leadership or the representatives of the Chinese government, we don't speak about other countries except our relationship. I met the President Xi, I met with the Premier of China last year. We never discussed any other country but our two countries. And if I am meeting the President of China, I don't think I have time to discuss other issues except Dominica's issues. And so that's a relationship between ourselves, and China will continue to be a very strong and steadfast friend of Dominica. I don't think our relationship with any country should be based on any other country's relationship with that country. And so we have relations with China. Everybody will knows that. We respect and we support the One China principle, which is enshrined in the international law and which is recognized by United Nations and all international organizations, that there is but one China, and that is the People's Republic of China, and that Taiwan is part of China. It is not a Roosevelt-Skerritt articulation. This is the United Nations articulation. This is why Taiwan is not at any international organization as members. And every country in Europe and every North American country recognizes that there's but one China. And so this is the basis of the relationship with China, that we recognize that there's one China, and that we do not involve ourselves in internal issues of each other's country and so forth, respect our sovereignty. But our engagement with China is on our economic and social advancement, and China has been very helpful in assisting us in achieving our SDGs and our own national economic and social strategy and vision for our country. And so this is what it is. We are prepared to listen to the views of all, but our relationship with China is not going to be determined by somebody else.
Did the U.S. Secretary of State discuss the Citizenship by Investment program during this meeting?
No, we raised it, and we simply drew to his attention that this is a program that is above board, that we received the support of the United States intelligence apparatus through the JRCC in vetting each applicant. And of course, through that database, the United States has access to the names of everybody who applies for citizenship within our OECS jurisdiction. And if there's anybody of interest by the FBI, once that name is put into the database system, into the intelligence environment with the United States framework, then the name will be picked up. And if after that there's an interest in anybody, then we're prepared to work with United States and any other entity in the world to facilitate the apprehension of anybody who would have gone afoul with the laws of any particular country. So it is we who raised it, and with an effort towards assuring them that we are running a very transparent program. And of course, we'll continue to discuss with them. We have urged that they continue with the relationship we had with the Treasury Department, with the 6-point agreement, and of course the yearly peer review of our program. And we also updated them and updated the United States on what we're doing with regards to the regional approach with the regulator, independent regulator, and also new legislation that will come into effect that each member country that has a CBI program will subscribe to and respect.
You said you all raised the Citizenship by Investment program at that meeting. Or was that supposed to be part of the?
It wasn't on the agenda. It wasn't on the joint agenda, but we took the opportunity to raise it. So likewise, China wasn't on the agenda, but the Secretary of State referenced it. It was a reference. It wasn't it wasn't a substantive agenda item. So there's a reference in his comments. Well, that's his views, and we have our views in respect to that. But the reality is, our relationship with the United States is strong. And if you look at Dominica's vote in the United Nations, you will recognize that we support about 99% of the resolutions put forward by the United States. There are some things that we don't agree with from a principle standpoint, or sometimes it's not that we don't agree with what they're seeking to achieve, but we don't agree with the approach that's been taken. And we always say that to them, that in different ways of achieving an objective. And of course, in everything, we have to apply fairness in respect to how we go about dealing with global issues. And so we always try to be, certainly in Dominica's case, to be a voice of reason.
I see interview with the press secretary. I heard Mr. Curtis Matthews' voice a little later down in the interview. So it was just an exclusive interview with the press secretary and Mr. Curtis Matthews of DBS Radio, speaking to the meeting that took place with Caribbean leaders. And that, of course, we'll discuss in detail sometime a little later. But based on the release I received there from the U.S. State Department, I want to read to you, and you can compare if you wish to. It reads, the United States Department spokesperson Tom Bruce has issued a statement summarizing talks between the leaders of the 6 independent OECS members and Commonwealth of the Bahamas in Washington Tuesday. Quote, Secretary of State Marco Rubio met with the heads of government from the Eastern Caribbean and the Bahamas to underscore the urgent need for enhanced regional cooperation to combat drugs and firearms trafficking and illegal migration, key drivers of violence and instability. He encouraged Caribbean partners to strengthen intelligence sharing, security cooperation, border security through initiatives like the Caribbean Basin Security Initiative. Secretary Rubio urged our partners to make responsible, transparent decisions when selecting vendors and contractors for critical infrastructure projects, ensuring that they are not vulnerable to privacy and security risk and exploitation by malign actors like the Chinese Communist Party. He also reaffirmed our commitment to holding accountable Cuban regime officials, foreign government officials, and those involved in facilitating the regime's forced labor scheme, including Cuba's medical missions. With hurricane season less than 1 month away, Secretary Rubio announced the reactivation of 2 U.S.-administered programs to strengthen early warning systems and provide rapid life-saving assistance across the Caribbean. Again, participants in the meeting included Prime Minister Ralph Gonzalez of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerritt of Dominica, Prime Minister Gaston Brown of Antigua and Barbuda, Prime Minister Philip Davis of the Bahamas, Prime Minister Philip J. Pierre of St. Lucia, and Prime Minister Dickon Mitchell of Grenada, and Prime Minister Terence Drew of St. Kitts and Nevis. And of course, we'll explore further sometime tomorrow some of the pronouncements and announcements made by our Prime Minister, your interpretation, talking about comparison and, of course, compare and contrast. We'll do that tomorrow. But if you still need to comment, feel free to do so. We have just a few minutes to go. All right.
Well, yes, I will be on a prayer that we share colleagues to the Prime Minister.
To wrap it up this afternoon, we're going to give you some more crazy in time to come. Since this afternoon we've been talking about things to come and not come in the near future. Well, let's take a phone call. Here's good afternoon to you. Yes. Hello.
Good afternoon, Matt.
How are you? How are you?
Oh, not too bad. I've been calling for a million times, no answer. Well, I am calling to find out when is Pastor Archbishop Parilla in Roseville.
When is he what? Please, Bishop Parilla will be on the Bayfront tonight from about 6 o'clock. He'll be on the radio tomorrow with me from 2 to 3 and back with me again on Saturday morning. Everybody wants him to pray. We'll keep praying there. And yes, if you can, you can go to the Bayfront tonight. Anything else?
Yeah.
Yeah, so he'll be on the Bayfront tonight for about 3 days. He's leaving on Sunday. Are you there, caller? Hello?
Hey, Mr. Pelte, my brother, I want you to deal with that between tomorrow and maybe next week.
What's that?
To contrast and compare what you just read and what the Prime Minister said.
Of course.
Because to me, the Prime Minister is in La La Land. He seems to be lost and want to take everything like it's a joke. Or he does not really comprehend the severity of what is being demanded, requested, or asked to them as a region. So really and truly, what you just read them at, to me, it is more in a restrictive and demanding way, rather than CARICOM, they're talking about sovereignty and our deal with China is like any other country. Not does he really, let us give him a little credit. Does CARICOM really understand the severity of the measures America and Europe is imposing on the region, Matt? Sometimes we believe it. Maybe you know.
I stress that, and of course, this news release came from the spokesperson from the U.S. State Department, and she said, and I want to quote: Secretary Rubio urged our partners to make a responsible, transparent decision when selecting vendors and contractors for critical infrastructure projects, ensuring that they are not vulnerable to privacy and security risk and exploitation by malign actors like the Chinese Communist Party. I don't know if the Prime Minister, delve deeper, if you know what I mean.
I understand you clearly, because what he just said a while ago seems to be not in parallel when it comes to the severity and the response to a report like you're just reading there. What he said that to me, like, you know what, it's no big deal.
Like he was just brushing over that.
We'll drink a beer over that and all is okay. When Matt is saying, no, look, these are the terms and conditions in which you need to comply, but you figure out if me and Matt drink a beer, it will be okay. Matt, have a good day.
In time to come, a very interesting observation, the blessings. Maybe we should speak to the Prime Minister and find out more.
Yesterday has come and gone, leaving some of us to mourn. Times we had and friends we lost, and while nature took its course, we have seen the many faces of slavery. We have seen the British Empire fall. We have seen Hitler's contribution to history. We have seen the rise and fall of the Berlin Wall. We have seen famines. We have seen wars. As you well imagine, we have seen nothing yet, because
I think people are now paying attention
America,
more critically as to what the Prime Minister said. Somebody's making the note, and I underline that. The PM just said Secretary of State is just another politician. That's a shallow perspective. And everything is not just a campaign, huh? On the telephone, hello, talk to me, yes? Are you there, caller? I missed that.
Science will produce spread out a stone.
Feels like he doesn't take anything seriously.
Human clone. Technology will reach.
That's what somebody's sending to me through WhatsApp.
Fly in the sky. Trinidad will make a nuclear bomb. In time to come. In time to
let's take another voice note here before we go.
I'm glad you read that release you got, because I just sent you a note that you should try get a transcript of exactly what took place in that meeting, because Rubel Skerrit is trying to trivialize it to alleviate the people's fears of anything. But the U.S. has issues with national security, what you call intellectual property and all kind of thefts that they have issues with China. And it's not as light as he make the meeting song. Oh, it was nothing. So that's for Dominica's consumption. You know, just alleviate the people's fears. Well, it's no big deal. But it's not that easy, man. They're watching you and they're just giving you a heads up. And this is just the beginning. Let's go further than that. But I'm glad you play his piece and you read that other release you got from the State Department, because it's two different stories when you break it down. I'm listening.
Sometimes we're great and with glorious moments mark the passage of time, but wait. In time to come, mankind will have a colony on the moon. In time to come, this calypso will be a top 40 tune. In time to come, scientists will synthesize silver and gold. In time to come, people will have real sex by remote control.
Hello.
Matt, good afternoon.
Good afternoon to you, my brother. How you doing?
I'm good. Matt, the Prime Minister seems to be glossing lightly over the comments, and the two things are different. What the Prime Minister is saying and the press statement from the U.S.
Mm-hmm.
Matt, and of caution for the Caribbean, and especially Dominica, was the fact that they asked them to choose wisely when selecting vendors to do construction, infrastructural work. Right?
You're paying attention, I see.
Right. Some years ago, Matt, a Chinese firm was selected to build a building, I think it was for the United Nations or something like that. And after they completed the building, it was noticed that a particular time in the evening, the traffic, the frequencies in that building were going a certain haywire, and they were wondering what happened, right? And when they conducted an investigation, it was found out that the Chinese had insert bugging devices in the walls, right? And that that particular time of the night, they came out to listen to what transpired in those buildings, right? So people are fearful of the Chinese and their techniques, and the Americans know that, and hence the reason why we are being cautioned to be careful of who we choose as our vendors when doing our work first. But Skerrit is trying to gloss over that different nicely, and that is different from what they released from the U.S. So we need to watch that closely. Yeah.
All right, so I need the Prime Minister to, of course, delve deeper, read that interview that took place there. Given just what I heard or read there from that, the U.S. State Department. Hello, talk to me, yes? Uh-huh.
Matt, boots on the ground again.
Yes, sir.
Matt, according to the way I heard Skerrit spoke in relation to that meeting, it's like when your partner calls you to talk to you about some deal or some transfer that we're going to organize. But the man in the region that gave us the heads up, even before the meeting, that they were selling passports and they were busy to know that who make the more money and the most money and who could make it fast. You remember who that man was?
Who was that?
That man was Ralph Gonzalez.
Something's happening there. You had a big ping on your telephone. Can you fix that?
Let me come on. Matt, Ralph Gonzalez was the man in the middle. I served in a matter that was dealing with some politicians recently. And the judge said he would not be able to deal with the matter if I, who was not a politician, was not able to give evidence. And Matt, I did give evidence. And the judge ruled in favor of the person that I was giving evidence on. I was giving evidence on my pal rep, Danny Lugie, with the situation that he had in Mount Daniel. And I and another lady were the middle people that was not politicians, and the judge wanted to hear from these people more than he wanted to hear from politicians. Matt, Ralph Gonzalez is the only man that's not selling passport in the region. And he is the person that recently just alerted the countries that selling and those that intend to sell what the implication is. And he was part of that meeting as far as I understood. So, Matt, unless we can get Ralph Gonzalez to give us what happened in the meeting
each and every one of them will be saying they were just talking to their partner and all they say scratch your back because it have something in the center of your back. Matt, this thing is very serious and we have to try to deal with it that way.
Of course. Thank you very much. I'll tell you what I learned yesterday as well. Of course, most of the countries they are related with China, but a big article in the St. Vincent Times, of course, showed off yesterday, and it says St. Vincent is the region's second fastest growing economy. The World Bank has reported that St. Vincent and the Grenadines is the second fastest growing economy in the region, and they are not selling passports. The reports indicate that this country has experienced consistent economic growth over the past 3 years, and the growth projection for this year is expected to reach a 4.9%. Minister of Finance, the Honorable Camilo Gonzalez, said despite the onslaught of the natural disasters, including the volcano eruptions of 2021, the COVID-19 pandemic, and Hurricane Beryl in 2024, this country's economy has managed to bounce back. And again, I just want to re-emphasize that there's no selling of passports, no CBI in St. Vincent. We'll explore that a little later.
The works of Lock Joint and Sampy at the time when money was no problem. And the drinks in the tongue was whiskey.
We've got to go in the afternoon.
That was when
301.
Black Power was big mayhem.
In time to come.
We saw an island rise up just so from out in the ocean. But that is so I want you to know. In time to come, an African will win Mastana Baha. In time to come, Trinbago will have a woman prime minister. In time to come, Kitchener's son will come here and start to sing. In time to come, who knows, he might become the next road match king. Indians and Africans will unite, and there will be no more racial fights. All of them drug pushers will cool down, and Dan Ratsing will hang up his gun. Sandy Grande will be a city. UNC will win in Lavanti. And they one day will stop drinking rum. In time to come. In time to come. In time to come. Crazy. Great. Let me do something for mankind. Since the beginning of time, man has never found himself caught up in a web of crime. He put his soul on the shelf, and we saw all his wickedness manifesting. Furthermore, in perversion he did wallow. Then we saw his intelligence disappearing, and therefore how lower his morals could go. But in the future, tomorrow's era, and the hereafter, mankind will have to do better. In time to come, all religions will get together and pray. In time to come, when it is getting closer to Judgment Day. In time to come, the Messiah will come and peace will prevail. In time to come, King Lucifer will make a lifetime in jail. Milk and honey will be the menu. Dollars and cents will have no value. Sorrow and pain will cease to exist, and everyone will find happiness. Man and woman will live forever in the kingdom of the Creator, dancing to a sweet soca rhythm. In time to come, in time to come, in time to come. Let me do one more birth of Jesus. We ain't nothing about Jesus yet. Let me do a birth of Jesus. And for Atto Bolden, we ain't nothing about Atto. Let me one more. This guy thought 25 was in it. All these things I sing to you will really happen for true. One day if we live to see these things come reality. Remember the prophecies of John the Baptist, who announced the coming of Jesus Christ. And that man, Nostradamus, the mad scientist, who once said the bloody World War will occur twice. So it is written, so shall it be, for things going to happen. And so all who have eyes would see, in time to come, the West Indies cricket team will rise back on top. In time to come, on the radio Calypso will jam non-stop. In time to come, Atoboldon will win an Olympic gold. In time to come, Proper and Ames will amaze the sporting world. The Calypso King will get 1 million. Panorama will pay house and land. Amoko will buy out Port of Spain, cause there will be another oil boom again. Ramesh Maharaj will tell me the truth, and Sprang Alang will start wearing suit. Crazy will win the Calypso crown. In time to come. It's only joke I'm making it. In time to come. In time to come. All right, there are plenty Calypsonians that sing so.
You and I can make a plan. We can bring salvation back where there is love. I'll be there. I'll reach out my hand to you. I'll have faith in all you do. Just hold my hand. I'll be there. Saw you from my window. My heart gave up me. But I reach on your doorstep. So can leave. Should you find somebody new, he better be good to you. Cause if he does, baby, I'll be there. Each time we meet, love, I find complete love. Without your sweet love, what would life be? So never, never leave me lonely. Tell me you love me only, and that you always let it be. I bless the day I found you. I want to stay around you. And so I beg you, let me be. Each time we meet, love, I find complete love. Where you sweet love, what would life be? So never, never leave me lonely. Tell me you love me only, and that you will always. Let it be me. Dream, 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 dream. When I want you in my arms and I need you, and by your charms whenever I want you, all I have to do is dream, 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 dream. When I feel blue in the night and I need you to hold me tight whenever I want you. All I have to do is dream, 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 dream. Anytime, night or day. Only talk to me. Dreaming with, I'm dreaming. Should you find somebody new, he better be with you. Cause it's just baby. Next time you like some love, looking out for a place to go, where the baby right music, getting in the swing. Look for me, look for me. Anybody could be that. This young and the music's fine. With a bit of music, everything is fine. Now look for that. Look for that. And when you get that chance, you are the dancing queen. You're sweet, you can shine having the time of your life. Routine, watch that scene, don't know much about history. Don't know much about biology. Don't know much about science. Don't know much about but I do know that I love you. And I know that if you love me too, what a wonderful love it should be. Under the boardwalk, out of the sun, under the boardwalk, we'll be having some fun. Under the boardwalk, people walking the floor. Under the boardwalk, we'll be falling in love. Under the boardwalk. Put your head on my shoulder, whisper in my ear, baby, words I wanna hear. Tell me that you love me true. Put your lips close to mine, make me feel right. Just like this good night. Show me you are like it's falling down. When will I see you again? When will we share precious moments? Will I have to wait forever? Will I have to suffer and cry the whole night? When will I see you When with our hearts beat together,
I'll be in love.
oh, just it's just the beginning, or it's just the end. When will I see you again? When will I see you again, baby? When will I see you again? When will I see you again?
Don't between two lovers, living like a fool.
Loving up the both of you is breaking on the moon.
Don't between two lovers, living like a fool.
Loving you both,
Breaking on the moon.
before I say another word, to quote you on the street, I really am in love with you. You're the best. But I'm seeing another one. I know it's wrong, I'm not perfect, but that don't mean that I will ever love you.
Torn between two lovers, feeling like a fool.
Loving up the both of you is breaking all the rules.
Torn between two lovers, feeling like a fool.
Loving you both
is breaking all the rules.
You must never think you really, 'cause I have another you. I may be out this much, but babe, I love you. Don't think it is what I say. She knows she is. It's just an empty space of love I'm trying to fill.
Torn between two lovers, feeling like a fool.
Loving up the both of you is breaking all the rules.
Torn between two lovers, feeling like a fool.
Loving you both is
Breaking all the rules.
one, a true lover.
Stand for me, stand for me.
You never want any other.
Stand for me, stand for me.
I'll be there to protect you.
Stand for me, stand for me. Morning, noon, and night, in the early night. Don't you fret, my pretty patch, I'm gonna take you out. Don't you dare. Stand for me, stand for me.
You and I can make a fight. We can bring side where there is love.
I need that.
I'll reach out my hand to you. I'll have faith in all you do. Just call my name. I'll be there. I'll be there. Just call my name. If you need love, whoa, whoa, see you again, baby. Sleeping, baby. Don't forget to call. Six.
Yes. Time for reflection, a time for redemption. Someone's knocking at our door. Ask Granny, listen to this station, her own recollection, sitting right there on her throne. Granny say it wasn't like this before. Papa God, brought you the funny bun, new that for. You some young men losing their lives, running tears from her eyes, while searching for a solution to save our paradise. Granny has the perfect advice. When it seems like the signs of the end of time, foolish shepherd, roll your rosary, and it won't just seem so hard to find. Foolish shepherd, roll your rosary, one day there'll be no more, no wars and crime. Foolish shepherd, roll your rosary, we'll be singing one sweet song of love and pride. Foolish shepherd, roll your rosary. Mama say one prayer a day can keep the evil away. Just say one our Father and 10 Hail Marys and pray for my country. Ole chapelet, roll your rosary. Boy, boy, boy. Take it for our children and our young men, for they need it the most. Because you expect to protect them, will disrespect them, sometimes rights at their homes. Granny say it wasn't like this before. Papa God, your sons can't handle a boat well no more. So to prove they is man, they must raise their hand. Don't want to know how it feels to bury your mother after she was killed by your father. When it seems like the signs of the end of time, holy shepherd, roll your rosary, and they both just seem so hard to find. Holy shepherd, roll your rosary, be no more wrong, no wars and crimes. Foolish Romeo will be singing one sweet song of love and pride. Foolish Romeo, Mama say one prayer a day can keep the evil away. Just day one, our Father, and 10 Hail Marys and pray for my country. Ole Chaplin, roll your rosary. Boy, boy, boy. With the economic state of our nation, global inflation, poverty's knocking at our door. Granny used to survive on her pension with no frustration. Now we can't do that no more. Granny said it wasn't like this before. Papa got a pound of sugar, not all no more. Her children sending barrels from England, but the customs breaking her hand. Don't want to know how it feels to be a single mother with a lazy, unemployed child father. Well, this seems like the signs of the end of time. Holy Chaplain, and the hope just seems so hard to find. Holy Chaplain, one day there'll be no more wrong, no wars and crime. Holy Chaplain, we'll be singing one sweet song of love and pride. Holy Chaplain, Mama say one prayer a day can keep the evil away. Just live one our Father and 10 Hail Marys and pray for my country. Holy Chaplain, roll your rosary. Not about religion or any vocation. We just cannot ignore the whole world by extension. Need this devotion, but we must begin at our shores. Granny say it wasn't like this before. Papa God, young people don't have the option no more. So to survive a chance, they must leave their land. Who can afford to run will run to greener pastures, but not the child of the farmer. Well, if this feels like the signs of the end of time, Holy Chaplain, roll your rosary, and the hope just seems so hard to find. Holy Chaplain, roll your rosary. One day there'll be no more wrong, no wars and crime. Holy Chaplain, roll your rosary. We'll be singing one sweet song of love and pride. Holy Chaplain, roll your rosary. Mama say one prayer a day can keep the evil away. Just say one our Father and 10 Hail Marys and pray for my country. Holy Chaplain, boy, boy, Janine.
Boy, I had a dream. Boy, once I had a dream. Politicians hold significant power to shape the future for you and me through the right decisions, policies, and leadership. They can either empower the young people or create barriers that will stifle our ambition and potential to be the best we can be. So, Mr. PM, what's going on? We know we try and try, distance taking down. You created an illusion, an imagination of a bright, prosperous, wealthy nation. Some call you a mama guy, I call you a heartbreaker and a dream killer. We had plenty hope, but now we can't cope. You're a dream killer. Disregard of mental health while you be seeking well. You're a dream killer. From the NEP, working for small money. You're a dream killer. You present a lot of things, we believe in you. Though our life passing by, nothing coming through. There's a lot of promises, fulfilling a few. There is big celebration for us to praise you. Hey, dream. Oh, I want children to have a dream. So many sent overseas to study, especially those who support the party. Them workers were blue bags that their parents gave you the X. But every time Felicia come on Facebook Live, they think she exposing makes me want to cry. I wonder why you acting so sly and how my girl getting by. They say a promise is a comfort to a fool. Some cannot graduate, you to petty school. All we hear is excuses and more promises, while the students don't on their knees. Some call you a big trickster, I call you a heartbreaker and a dream killer. We had plenty hope, but now we can't cope. You're a dream killer. Disregard of mental health while you busy getting well. You're a dream killer. Some in NEP, working for small money. You're a dream killer. You present a lot of things, we believe in you. No our life passing by, nothing coming through. It is so embarrassing while you there smiling. There's a grumbling, they call it within. Hey, oh, you feel it, I had a dream. I have a dream. With hard work and determination, We can reach our destination through access to capital, education, mentorship. But consider yourself as a young man, stuck in the cycle of stagnation, where corruption creates limitation and overwhelming sense of frustration. Every day he faces the harsh reality. He cannot provide for his family, losing his dignity and his sanity while still waiting for his opportunity. Some call you a blood sucker, I call you a heartbreaker and a dream killer. We had plenty hope, but no, we can't cope. You're a dream killer. Disregard of mental health while you busy getting well. You're a dream killer. Stuck in NEP, working for small money. You're a dream killer. You present a lot of things, we believed in you. No hope was like passing by, nothing coming through. Who can run will run, who can never stay. Waiting for election day to get elected. Oh, we have a dream. Oh, we have a dream. It's okay. Put on my reading glasses and I'm scrolling through my Facebook page. Facebook used to be about connecting, but now the experts taking center stage. Have me feeling like I'm reading Shakespeare. The books and them so long, but the grammar not so strong. Everybody want to be advisor. They must have an opinion, and you can't tell them they're wrong. Oh, some cannot even plan a party. But advising Mama and DFC, they're experts in you, then you mad if you're not strong. Like all the experts, making stuff right for wrong. Experts in politics, experts in economics, experts in every topic. Experts in festival, experts in carnival, experts in every subject. They always know the solution to every problem. They always know about things that don't concern them. They always know somebody give them the wrong name. We should call them sober, or no we sure, or even Noel. Cause they always know. They always know. Oh. Once the topic hot and it's trending, they pick up. Their favorite is politics.
They know on all who we depending, and they know exactly what to do. Don't even mention the Prime Minister. They will write a book on how Mr. is the crook. They don't even leave it Dominica. But you can sense the rage at the time we need a change. Oh, some cannot even lead a family. But advising how to lead a country, their expertise, then you might if you're not strong. Like how the experts make the Paris run. Run. Experts in politics, experts in economics, experts in every topic, experts in political science, experts in law, experts in every subject. They always know the solution to every problem. They always know about things that don't concern them. They always know somebody give them the wrong name. We should call them Noah or Novisha or even Noel, because they always know. They always know. Oh. So even talk about carnival season, Pastor Dominic, experts in their element, count on them to be the voice of reason, critiquing with confidence. They know all about the Booyah. The better band, triple K or signal band. Every vote they make will lead to drama. You will surely know